Good evening, friends. Welcome to Eason Academy. We are into embedded system programming. As a part of the embedded system programming, we are discussing about C language. And session 5, we are going to discuss about functions. How C language is handling the functions. The C programming system, we discussed that how functions are the building blocks. But in a C language, we should know how the functions are handled. Okay, so as I told you in the C programming, functions are the very critical thing of the any language. The languages are built only using functions. That sometimes we get confused between which is function, which is language. That level is confusion is there in the languages. We'll discuss about that. Once you understand that, once you understand the difference between language and function, done, man. You have written a program, you convert them to coding. Could be anything, C or C++, Java or Python, whatever code. You try to convert, this plays a vital role. This plays a vital role. How these are very important for embedded system programmers is different. This is what we generally do the mistakes. Still, we all have a mindset. Most of the electronic students or whatever it is, their idea about embedded system programming is still about 30 years old. Still, we are 30 years old. But let us take a very simple case. If you go to the mobile shop, if your dad gives you 10,000 rupees because you have scored a good mark in the semester, which phone you will buy? Am I right? Will you buy the 20-30 years old Nokia phone? Or which is the 10,000, which is a high functional smartphone? You will select only this. You will not select this. Am I right? You wanted the best product less than 10,000 rupees because that's the money you have. Am I right? The same thing. There are companies, but if you have a lot of money, you will buy best product. You don't worry. If Apple cost you 1.5 lakhs iPhone or 2 lakhs, you will buy it because you have a lot of money. If you have 10,000, you will do that. The same thing in India also here. There are multiple companies. There are 2-3 levels of companies. Some companies have a lot of money. Somebody have medium money. Somebody have less money. That's it. If you are best, these people ready to pay you any amount salary. This pay ready to pay anything. This is the thing. But one thing, what all the people want is you have to be the latest person. You have to be the latest, not the old one. What is the difference between the latest embedded system programmer and the old embedded system programmer? That is everything depends only on this functions. This requires a different mindset. Okay, that's why we have to explain now in a C language. We are going to explain about functions, what it does. It is nothing but every code is there on the memory at some place. This is your main. As I told you, main is also a function. Main is also a function. It's not a different one. It's the same. Other functions. The one of the biggest thing of the main function is that when you execute, this is called first. It's called first. That's the thing. This is start. And initial days, you don't have to return anything. But today, all the OS expects the main function should return some variable. Okay, main function should return some variable that is used by the this what you are see when you call from the main, you are calling a function called add. You say that if you say that y is equal to add a comma b, then you when you come inside here, you say a is equal to something, b is equal to something, and you return c is equal to a plus b, add a comma b. Okay, now you are returning c, which is nothing but an integer. So you are returning integer. This is going to be used by this guy. Now int y. So you understand all of them are to match. You say int y, and returning c. The c is an integer. Everything has to be matched. If things are not matching, then you will get error. Please understand. You have to make sure that all are matching. Now, then you may ask that, hey, if int is calling a main, say main is calling the add function, when it's giving return, that goes to the y, fine, it's the integer. But what is the main function is returning? The main function is returning integer that is used by the OS. That is used by the OS. Not only OS, some upper level software also. I may call your software from a Python code. From Python code, I'll call your software. Then whatever it gets returns, I will find out whether it's a success or failure. Understood? Even not only Python, even C itself, top level, I can able to call your functions. That's the advantage of this returning int. That's why people always ask me that why we put int in the thing. And also understand one important thing in C. You return value. This is what the function. Any function is like this. Function name. Please, I'm requesting you to understand this very clearly, because today you are going to use in future when you go to embedded programming more on functions, and I'll explain more and more on functions now. Now I say int. That means it's only one integer. That means that I'm returning int x, return x. You cannot return more than one value in C. That's fine. And another thing is you say int a, int b. So you know in the C there are two things. You may be knowing this. We normally do that. We say that int main I declare a variable called int x, int y. Sorry, since I'm writing function, same thing. You write. Then you say x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20. This is called declaration. This is called declaration. Okay. Now there is one more thing is there called int x is equal to 10, 20. This is called initialization. What is the difference between this and that? That's the biggest problem, which not many of us don't understand that. There's a big difference between declaration and int x comma y. Okay, now I say x is equal to 10, y equal to 20. This is called, please understand, this is called initialization. What is the difference between declaration and initialization? That's a trick. Okay. Declaration is done by the while you are execution. Initialization is done while you are compiling. Okay. It's actually happening, the process happening called loading that we'll discuss later on. So they are different. This and that are different. Please don't try to get confused this. So if you call a function now, what is happening? I'll tell you. Main, int main. You say int a comma b comma c. You say a equal to 10, b equal to 20. You're done your declaration. This is actually a declaration. Now you say here c is equal to add a comma b. You are passing this. You say printf now. Excuse me. 1 minute. Okay. Now you see that the trick here is this. Understand this. This is what has to be understood. It will give you a lot of insight. What is the thing? If we call int add int x comma int y and int z. Z is equal to x plus y. Return z. What it means here is this is exactly like it can be written. This can be written in the other way. This function can be written in the other way. The meaning, actual meaning. Int add int x is equal to a. Int y is equal to b. Understand now. Int z. That is the meaning. Do you understand this? What I'm doing now? I have slightly modified this program this way. Now I say z is equal to x plus y. Return. So this is the meaning. What you are giving here is the meaning is this. These two values are initialized by the calling function. That's it. And if this is an integer and this has to be integer. Today C is having too serious about that. Today C is having very serious about that. Okay. People wanted you to do everything perfect. They don't want to do mismatch. You define character, you define integer, don't try to mismatch. Then there'll be a confusion. That's why today they wanted everybody's code. They wanted to have a very serious that no mismatching. If you do mismatch, tell the compiler, for example, you say that now, we'll discuss later, but right now I'll tell you. You say char x int y. Y is equal to 10. X is equal to y. Am I right? There's nothing wrong. But you are mismatching character and integer. One is 8-bit, one is 32-bit. So he will give you a warning. Hey, you are trying to mismatch. So what you have to tell him, hey, no, yeah, I'm right. He will give you error saying that you are trying to do the mismatching. So you will tell him, no, I know that by adding this char, you are telling the compiler that I know that, Baba. I know that I know that this is an integer. This is a character. I know that. It's 8-bit. That is 32-bit. I know that. But still, I want to equate. Then he will allow it. This is called typecast. It's called typecasting. That means that you are making both right-hand side, left-hand side equal. When you start doing a very complex things and all, I'll explain to you later slowly. I know I'm just giving you a small hint now and then, such a way that when you get a word terminology called typecasting, you will understand there's nothing. So what effectively I'm trying to convey is simple. In C language, do not try to equate. Let us say you define here char. You call int here, then the compiler will give error. Understand? Don't try to do mismatching. All the thing what you are using should be carried. Right now, you are using only when you're programming, you're using only integer. You don't have any problem. But tomorrow, a lot of types are there. That time you will have a thing. So, my only one concern is this, not about all these things. Do you understand this? What is function? It is nothing but same like your code, main code, the main UK bracket. Am I right? Here also same thing. But whatever you are sending here, you are sending it through this. That means that this guy allocates a memory for you here, ABC, for X, Y, Z here. For this function, for add function. Main function. It does it. And as I mentioned to you that this is the way the whole declaration goes on. This is the way the whole declaration C does. It has a space. One is called global. One is called local. In local, you have a function, main function, and you have for add function. If you declare here int m n o, a 3 variables at the top, it is declared here. And if you declare here AB, it is declared on this main. Main is also considered to be a local function. Main is whatever you declare inside the main. It is not global. That is main. We will discuss this in a memory session. That's actually something called these local variables are allowed in the stack. And there's something called heap. There's something called data segment. Your program will be there in the code segment. That is called the memory architecture. We'll discuss later. Right now, don't. I just given a small idea about what these things are all about. The terminologies, you know that, but we'll discuss later on the terminologies. So please understand, when you declare variables inside local, you are using a separate space. If you use the global single space, for example, let us say that I don't do this. I don't do this. Think here, I do int ABC, int main. I do int XYZ, sorry, add. I declare here also int ABC. I say int ABC. So understand now, all the places I've declared int ABC. Understand now. Now the compiler will allocate 3 variables for global, 3 variables for local, main, and 3 variables for add, local. These 2 are local. So totally how many space I allocated? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But If we don't use this, so this will not be allocated. Am I right? That much memory will be saved. So I can able to use this, I can able to use this. Am I right? Why people are having a then local variables? The problem here is this. When you have this local global, if I modify here, this guy also get modified. Then every function have a problem of using that. Also, they have another beautiful technique here. That is what the technique, which you have to know that. When I'm using a main, I will use a local variable. When I come out as main, local will be exhausted. But right now, you will never come out of the main. When you're coming out of the main means you're coming out of the software itself, the last line, that's it. So don't worry about main. For about add, if I say int ABC, this guy will, compiler will allocate 3 locations for me, ABC. See, I'm calling a function called add. When I call a function called add, 3 variables are allocated for me, ABC. But when I am getting out of, when I do return to the main function, these are removed from the memory. No more allocation. Am I right? But when you're calling once again another function called subtract ABC, then he will allocate once again the 3 variables. If a subtract function is having 3 variables, but that could be the same of what you allocated on the add. The beauty is, at that time, you will be doing only one function, not all the function. Okay, when you're calling one function, that variables are allocated here. That's why they call this as a local variable. Local means you cannot use it for the other functions. Okay. Do you understand this? That means that every function, when you are calling a function, in B, you allocate here int C. Understand now? So you have correct. That is the advantage of the functions. The function is this. You just pass the parameter. This ABC will be when you are from the main function. If you call add, when your main function you are calling add, only when you are calling the add, the ABC will be allocated. So memory is not permanently allocated in local, whereas the global is permanent. It's a permanent memory, global. Whereas all the things, they are the same RAM only. They are always in the RAM, main memory. But that itself, this is a way that the things were designed so good. Such, I allocate ABC. That whatever you are passing here, 5,6, A and B, so 5,6, it goes. But the moment I return here, this will be removed. This will be removed coolly. Understand? That's why they call this as a. So if for example, if you have 100 functions, let's say you have 100 functions, and each function is using 10 variables. Each function is using how much? 10 variables. So 110, it should be 1,000 variables and 1,000 memory locations. No, C uses only 10 functions, only 10. Because you will not call the 100 functions. Whenever you call a function, that will be allocated, then do the thing. So memory will not be wasted. Also, another advantage, the function will be very independent. The function will be very independent. In Java and C++, you say called class, which we don't have it in C. That's fine. You know class and object. In the object-oriented programming, you have it. Same thing here. So here, the functions with the local variables are a separate object. So you will not be wasting you will not be corrupting anybody else. So the local variable of one function cannot corrupt the other function. So please understand, if you have two functions, both are having a same variable name. Both are having same variable name, but they are totally different. That doesn't matter this. But if it's a global, there's a trick here. Local versus global. So I know that local versus local is no issues. I know that local versus local, no issues. Because this is different, this is different. But local versus global, that's a trick here. Now let us see that. Now let us try to understand this. I say int ABC. And I have a main. I have now called int we say a is equal to 10. Here also I say so this is global. So system allocates the global tree area A, B, C. A is 5, B is 6, C is 7. Now if I say int ABC, I allocate here ABC for main. Main is a function. This is local. These are all local variable. Now I have ABC. A is 10. Understand? Now I say print of percentage A. When I do this, I have a here, I have a here, but local is always have a priority. So your answer will be 10. Your answer will be 10. Global will not have priority. But if you don't declare this, if you declare only global, then A is 5, A is 10. So this gets changed to 10. Understand now? Understand the difference between how the local and the global gets priority. Oh, you cannot do that. There's no way. If a variable name is same, oh God, somebody asked so good question. If I say that this is A is 5, here I say local int A, B, C. Okay. Both are having a same name. How do I do that? There's only one way. There's only one way. Since you asked, let me call a function called C. C is equal to add local and global and A. I'm passing. Now I say a function called add local, global. And int X. Here I give a name called X. Now he allocated here called X for add local, global. You understand now? Now, since the X here, I will say int Y. Y is equal to X plus A. Y is equal to X plus A. Then I say return Y. Understand now? Now what is happening now? Understand, go one by one. Int A is equal to 5, B 6, C 7. It's gone now. 5, 6, 7. Now I have written int a comma b comma c. I've declared here a comma b comma c. And a is equal to 10. A is moved to 10. Now I say, I call a function called add local global. Somebody has asked, how do I add local global? Here I cannot do a plus a. No possible. If I say here, c is equal to a plus a, he'll add only 10 plus 10, 20. Because within this main function, you declare a. He will take only this a, not that a. So when I call a function, that I declared x. That I declared x. Since I declared x, now here when I say x plus a, I have not declared locally a. So then he will go and touch the global. He takes add plus 5 and the x is 10 now because that's what you have passed. So 10 plus 5, 15. I return, you say printf. Good question. Somebody has asked a very good question. Thinking, man. So these are maybe for others it may be confusing, but it's a way. Everything. No. What I'm trying to show now is by answering this question. In C, there is a possibility. Don't tell me that's not possible. Don't tell me it's not possible. That's the C. It's the very lowest level of programming. The only problem in C, what is not possible is the time. You cannot say, yeah, it will print 15. While printing, it will print 15 because you are calling A and X. It will print 15 because that's why I say that this A is global, the X is local. That's why I've written, I see. The problem here is this. You know what is your biggest problem? The problem here is this. Till you become slowly practice to the system, you will always worry about this your speed with computer speed. That's a problem. The computer speed is enormous. So you need to don't worry about writing the code size, writing number of functions. Initial days, never worry about. That's why I always say functionality. Okay, there are only two things are there in this. So please understand here. This is a very important thing when you call a function. When you call a function, you will say whatever it is, int, whatever it is. And in the actual function declaration, you say int m, int n. It is because in the global function, in the other function, in the add global function, I declared int x only. I have not declared int. Oh, that is so good. I think there's something is asked. See, now I tell you one thing. I say int a comma b comma c. The main function. It's good. We better ask. Inside the main function, you say int a comma b comma c. I say a is equal to 10. Printf. See here you say a is equal to 5, b is equal to 6, c is equal to 7. So in the memory you have declared a global a, b, c, 5, 6, 7 because you initialize. But here the local variable you say a, b, c declared. This is global, this is main. You have declared a 10. When you say print %d, comma c, it will print 10 because it's used priority local. Now if we say int add int x, x is equal to 5. Printf %d comma a. Now what happened? No, this time the first printf, it will print 10. The second printf, it will print A. Sorry, I put A. So I put A. Sorry, here also I put A. Here I put 5. Understand now? Now in this put A, it will print 10. When it put here, it will print 5. If I do this, what will happen? Can anybody tell me now? Now I'm asking you one question now. See here, I say A, B, C. This is all about language. You know, this is all about language. Now I say A. Now tell me what will print on the first print, what will print, second print, what it will print. Anybody can guess? Anybody can tell me? What will be the first printing? I want 3 answers. Let me check. Let me wait for a minute. Think about it. I see the problem. I have declared 3 variables A, B, C, and I have declared locally A, B, C, but here I have declared X. Here I say print of percentage D A. Here I've I remove this also. I say print of percentage D A. What will be the value? Now, what is there? Two printf, 1 and 2. What is 1 result? What is the second result? That's what I wanted. I've not declared any functions. I've declared a function add. No, I'm not declared. This is no. See my don't change my program. Please don't change my program. I have this program given answer. Don't ask me to change the program. I have written a program. If you have any doubt on the program, ask me. Otherwise, you give me the result. You can put 1, 2. I don't want local global. I want 1, 2. First printf, second printf. The first printf, what will be the answer? Second printf, what will be the answer? I have not initialized both. That's one thing. This is what C. See, I'm telling you repeatedly. C has set of rules. C has set of rules. Better understand the rules. Set of rules. All the uninitialized variables in C, global variables. Global uninitialized or always initialized to 0 by compiler, by a loader. Please understand. It is always 0. If you declare any global variable, if you're not initialized, that is initialized by 0 by the compiler automatically. But if any local variable, if you declare, these guys are garbage. So please understand the difference between global and local. Global variables are initialized to 0 by the system. So you will get the answer 0 here. Okay. And for the, garbage here. And here you will get the 0 because here int x, I have not declared A. So this guy will use this A as a global A. When you not declared, I will use global. When you have declared local, I will take local. So if you, that's why I've written such a small program. In this small program, you should be able to understand the difference between thing. These are not very important because I've seen a lot of you people writing a code. No, you know what code you are writing now? See, I'll tell you the mistake. I'll tell you what mistake it is. You write here int sum. comma I. For I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Sum is equal to sum plus I. You will not find the fault in that one. Everything looks to be fine. But you do printf, comma sum. You don't get the right answer because you did a mistake. You declared the sum here. So he allocated a variable called sum and I. But here you see the for loop, you start with I is equal to 0. So I is 0. But unfortunately, sum is having a garbage value. When you say sum is equal to sum plus I, nobody knows what is the value. It could be 1,000 or 10,000 or a lakh or whatever it is. But there's a problem here. When you try to run these things these are actually happening on the real C codes. When you try to do this online compile everything, in those setups, they make sometime this variable to initialize 0. So this code will work on the online compilers, but they may not work on the real compilers because real compiler will never initialize this memory because it cannot initialize, because whenever you call only this is going to be allocated. That's the problem. So do you understand this? If anybody don't understand this, let me know. This global and local variables there's some more thing is there that is called static. I'll explain later about static when you're discussing about storage class. Don't get confused. The interviews, they will ask more about static, volatile, and extern, and what is constant. This is all will explain. First you understand this. If you do not understand this program, let me know. Here, this is wrong. You are not supposed to do this. Before you do the sum, make sure that sum is equal to 0. Because this is declared locally. This is not declared globally. And also make sure that second important thing when you declare function is this. Once you start learning writing function, I'll explain to you how to create your own library. This is all very important today. This will make your Emerson product so fast. Int main. Say add. C is equal to add. Say here, the add is returning an integer C. So you say int add int x comma int y. You say int z. You do something and return z. This is integer, so I say integer. But you have to do one more important thing nowadays. You have to write this here before the int main. Int add int comma int. That means that this is called prototype or declaration. That means that you are telling the main that if you use any function add, this is what this integers. Otherwise, it will assume as a implicit declaration. That's not right. Nowadays, people wanted you to declare before you write a function. These are all the main standards you should follow nowadays. Understand? So, write a function. I'll explain to you later. There are only two things are that we understood in main function. One is passing the parameter. There are two types of parameters. One is you are passing the value or data. The other one is passing the address. Both are same only, but there's a small difference here. That I'll explain to you that after I discussed about pointers. After we discuss about pointers, I'll explain about how we are passing the pointers or address to the function. That's a, if you understand these two, you will do wonders. Then slowly, I'm expecting you to. This is the C language. Don't worry about that if you don't understand. That's a trick. You will watch the video repeatedly when you need it. You will understand it. Or that time you attend the class, you will understand. Right now, put your full focus on C. Programming. So, writing functions is a very big criteria for today's embedded system programmers. That's why I've started explaining about function. Okay. So you can call one more function locally, you know, any number of functions. There's nothing called a function has to be called one. The add you are calling here, I may call here another function. This may call another function. I may continuously call a number of function to achieve a thing. So today, if you start tracing a program, you will get confused. That's why we need to learn. We need to learn from the function. They have a description. Sometimes people write functions for so many days, months together, years together, sit and write functions. And if you try to understand the codes and all, it will take very long time. First of all, learning how to use functions. This is a small example is there. You learned how to use two functions beginning itself. If you don't use these two functions, printf and scanf, you cannot get a key from the keyboard and you cannot display it on the monitor. Both are not possible if you don't use these two functions. So you know how to use the functions. You don't ask the question why. The function, people have told that, hey, %d means decimal, %x means hexadecimal, like that. Understand? One minute. Okay. Any doubt on? Say, please understand. No, don't get confused. But functions are same. There is nothing. Yeah. People ask, what are the code? Div C++ or code block or Quincy. A lot of people are there. There's nothing. It's all the same, man. When you start doing better, finally I will tell that the VS Code. Today, whole industry started using the Microsoft VS Code as a good thing. But initially, anything can be okay. But if you start using this, the IDEs are very good. VS Code is a good editor nowadays. People are using. But better you can use anything. There's nothing specific for what thing. As I told you, but don't use Turbo C. That's the only thing. If you see anywhere, don't touch that. You have a lot of things. We'll discuss about how to use the GCC and not later. But right now, don't worry about that. All these people are using the C++, code block. All of them are using only the GCC as a backend. See, they have done everything in the back and give you the very good environment such a way that you write a code editor and compiler and then loader and execute it. That's the thing they are showing. Nothing big about that. The more important thing is the more important thing is that write coding now.
That is what's the most important. Don't get confused between the what ID is. Those things are not important. How good you are writing a coding. Somebody has written a code which says that assume local variable is a 0. Okay, that may be chance, but that's not right. C-wise, that's not correct. Yeah, that's correct. So if you write a code without initializing a local variable, you will get always a wrong answer. So now you understand at least what is global, what is local, how the functions are residing. Okay. Anyhow, Wednesday we have I've extended one more session for the functions because it's very critical. I'll tell you that how the functions are used to build the bigger languages and how we are going to handle the functions in future. I'll tell you some nice points about the functions that would be very helpful on Wednesday class. So sorry for unscheduled class, but if you have a time, attend it. If you're not pre-planned it, you get the recorded thing, so you'll be able to get the things. Okay. Yeah, internship opportunity. Let me stop this. Let me finish this and ask the general notes.